Clark Middleton was not only a phenomenal actor, but also a human being of indomitable spirit. The actor battled with juvenile rheumatoid arthritis from the early age of 4, but unlike others who let the disease alter the course of their life, Middleton decided to learn how to live with it. In doing so, he was a shining example to the many who suffer from the disease and are unable to lead normal lives. After all, Middleton was an exceptionally talented actor with tremendous screen presence, especially when you consider his career was mostly limited to supporting roles. Although Middleton has played several memorable roles over the years, including his stint as forensics tech Ellis on Law & Order, Ernie in Kill Bill Volume 2, Sidney in Birdman, and Painter in Snowpiercer, his most recent notable role was Glen on the Blacklist. On October 4, 2020, Clark Middleton died of complications from the West Nile virus at the age of 63. Let's look back on the actor's personal and professional life and his battle with juvenile rheumatoid arthritis. The start of his career. Clark Middleton was born April 13, 1957 in Bristol, Tennessee. His acting career kicked off when he joined an acting class in junior college. At the time, he was based in Southern California and working at a car retailer and a Social Security office. In the acting class, his performance of one scene was said to have been so moving the audience was silent. In fact, it was so quiet, Middleton felt the lack of applause meant he had performed terribly, and he started tearing up. It was only when his teacher clarified that he was wonderful that he grasped the meaning behind the silence. Middleton moved to New York City to pursue acting as a career. He enrolled in acting classes at Herbert Berghoff and soon became a part of the local theater scene. During his time in NYC, he stayed in modest accommodations in Hell's Kitchen. Middleton's efforts reaped benefits as he gained the opportunity to work with some very talented people in the industry and hone his skills. The Broadway star and Academy Award winner Geraldine Page became his guide, and under her mentorship, Middleton's acting skills bloomed. Soon, things became yet better, and Middleton was performing at La Mama and the Public Theater, which afforded him chances to work with talented craftsmen such as John Guare and Sam Shepard. With his career taking off on the right path, Middleton moved to an Upper East Side apartment where he'd spend the next 3 decades. While Middleton did fairly well in plays and small productions, success on the large screen came to him in the 2000s. It was at this time he bagged roles in films and shows including Sin City, Fringe, and Twin Peaks. It was also a good time for Middleton on the personal front. In 2006, he married actor Alyssa Myers, who was a familiar face in the theater circuit. Middleton also chose this phase of life to become more involved with the Arthritis Foundation. He was an advocate for living a full life even with juvenile rheumatoid arthritis, which was effortless for him since he truly believed in not letting the malady control what he could or could not achieve in life. Clark Middleton shared a very special relationship with his father, Mel. He's often credited his success in pursuing a normal life and an acting career to Mel's determination and effort. In several interviews, he's gone on to explain how Mel managed to raise 2 kids and provide medical care for Clark, all while working 2 jobs and pushing Clark to aim high in life. Keep watching to learn more about their journey together. But before we move on, please take a moment to hit the like button and subscribe to our channel if you're enjoying this video. Early years. Middleton was only 4 when he was diagnosed with juvenile rheumatoid arthritis, and although he defied how much toll the disease took on his life, it wasn't easy. The doctor who diagnosed Clark told his father, Mel, he probably wouldn't survive another winter. At the time, the Middletons lived in Louisville, Kentucky, and on hearing the prognosis, they packed their bags and moved to Tucson, Arizona. Clark Middleton said he recalled the trip to Arizona in a station wagon. His joints had swollen, and his father tried to drive slowly and use the brake as sparingly and softly as possible. Mel had even created a bed on the back where Clark could rest for much of the journey. While Arizona's warmer weather did help some, there was more bad news around the corner. The rheumatologist the Middletons consulted explained Clark would most likely have to use a wheelchair throughout his life. Luckily for Clark, his father was determined and refused to take this answer. He told Clark they wouldn't lose hope and resigned to fate. In many ways, Clark Middleton owed much of his determination and grit to his father, who instilled unfaltering perseverance in him from an early age. While the ideals Mel instilled in Clark led to a much better life than could be expected for most in his position, arthritis still took a huge toll on his well-being. Middleton was hospitalized several times during his childhood, and although his condition was somewhat manageable during his school years, some problems persisted. His neck, shoulders, and wrist joints had already fused. Over his later years, he underwent a total of 14 surgeries to replace 10 joints. His career. A lifetime member of the Actors Studio, Clark Middleton achieved significant professional success in his brief career. He debuted with the late Broadway star Geraldine Page and worked at several theaters in his younger years. The Public Theater, Shakespeare in the Park, the Mark Taper Forum, and the Denver Center are some of the theaters across the U.S. where he performed. Naturally, he worked with quite a few outstanding playwrights during his heyday, including John Guare, William Levengood, and John Beluso. Of all his performances and creations, Miracle Man is arguably the best one. Middleton wrote the one-person play based on his life and chose to keep it off-Broadway. He traveled around the country to perform the critically acclaimed play that was equally loved by audiences. If you've ever seen Middleton on stage or screen, you'd agree that the man has a tremendous screen presence. As an actor, he has the ultimate power to captivate audiences, even in supporting roles. While his skill itself is something to behold, it's yet more awe-inspiring when you consider he had almost no neck movement. Even the rest of his joints did not consistently allow him free movement. Middleton's physical limitations certainly limited the roles he was offered, which was all the more true at the beginning of his career. While he was skilled enough to pull off even the more challenging roles, casting teams remained hesitant, not because of his shortcomings, but because of viewer perception. Despite this, Middleton managed to deliver some fantastic performances in his brief career. Some of his most notable performances include Glen from the Blacklist, Edward Markham from Fringe, and other supporting roles in Law & Order, CSI Las Vegas, Birdman, Twin Peaks, and Taking Woodstock. His role in the 2018 film Mortal Wounds got him a nomination for Best Supporting Actor for a short at the International Film Festival USA, and it won him the Jury Award at the Long Island International Film Expo. Apart from acting, directing, and producing, he also taught acting for more than 2 decades in New York. He and his wife only moved to LA a couple years ago, and once the COVID-19 outbreak had reached the West Coast, Middleton refrained from going out at all, considering his already compromised immune system. Even then, he conducted acting classes virtually. Earlier this year, he woke up with a fever, and soon his mental acuity was failing. He was hospitalized at Cedars-Sinai Medical Center for 2 weeks, at the end of which he passed on. Relationships with friends. Middleton was commonly referred to as a kind, jovial, generous, and gifted friend, and wonderful person all around. Those who had the opportunity to work with him say he was an incredibly talented actor and passionate about the craft. And his perseverance to live on his own terms while defying juvenile rheumatoid arthritis made him a role model. His relationship with his father. In a 2017 interview with Absolute Music Chat, Clark Middleton spoke about his relationship with his father and the crucial role he played in shaping Clark's life. He recollected how his father uprooted the family and moved to Arizona on hearing the doctor's diagnosis, explaining how this was very courageous on his father's part since it was not something common back then. He even fondly remembered how Mel made sure Clark had the best doctors by working 2 jobs to support the expenses. Mel was a high school shop teacher, and he managed to care for Clark while simultaneously raising his other son, Kirby. Clark Middleton left a legacy few others can match. As an actor, director, writer, teacher, husband, friend, and advocate, the man successfully played many roles in his 63 years, without letting his physical disabilities limit him. What was your favorite role of Clark Middleton's? Let us know in the comments section. And if you enjoyed watching, please hit the like button and subscribe to our channel for more interesting content. Don't forget to hit the bell icon to stay updated with our latest videos.